Hey everybody, it's Kari here, your vision achievement coach with maximum joy, minimum stress, and today I want to talk to you about 3 beliefs that are blocking your joy and my joy. And I say that to you because all of this has come up for me recently, and I thought it was a powerful moment for us to put the pause button on and reflect for a little bit on the ways that we get in our own way. So, these 3 beliefs, I betcha you're going to see them come up in the next week. Belief number 1, I don't have time to blank. Usually it's something that is fun or somehow going to benefit you in the short term or the long term. I don't have time to do that. That's number 1. Number 2, I have to be blank to be in this space. I might be trendier, smarter, older, younger, whatever it might be. I have to be more of something to be able to be here, to have earned the right, so to speak. And limiting belief number 3 that's blocking our joy is no one wants blank from me. They don't want to know something about me. I shouldn't be too much of something around them. I should or should not talk about certain subjects with them, those sorts of things. So we've got, I don't have time to, I have to be blank to be in this space, and no one wants blank from me. I'm going to challenge you to watch for how those are popping up in your life in the next week or in your friends' lives as they tell you about what's going on. And I'm also going to give you today a 4-step blocker busting process to go through so that you can counteract those joy blocking thoughts when they come up. And I would tell you that this comes from my own experience because this week I was talking to a friend at work about how I wanted my life to be more flexible, how I keep putting too much on my own plate and it's making it really hard, and I just want to live this flexible life and it just keeps eluding me. And in this conversation, I realized that the only reason that it was rigid was because of the rules I was creating for myself. I saw that the ways in which I wanted to be a little bit more spontaneous or have a little bit more room in my schedule is only because I had told myself rules about how I was going to use my time. And I think that having those kinds of rules and expectations and guidelines to live our lives is useful, but they're only as useful as we let them be. And if you get too tied to them, they get in the way. And they can stop you from feeling all of the joy that you have open to you right here, right now, with the life that you're living without making massive changes other than how you view it. So here's my 4-step process. Number 1, when it comes up and you say, I can't, or it's not possible, hit the pause button and say, why can't I? Why isn't it possible? And listen to the answer that comes back from inside of you. And once you have that answer, you got to ask yourself, okay, is this thing that I'm saying I can't or isn't possible, is it something I want? And again, you need a real honest answer from your core. Is that something that you want in your life? If the answer is no, maybe skip the rest of the process. But if your core is telling you, yes, I want this, this is important to me, and I need it, keep going. Keep going to the next one, because this is the doozy. If I flipped that belief upside down, totally turned it on its head, and looked at it from a completely different angle, what would that truth be? Instead of the truth that you've been telling yourself is the reason you can't. So if we're looking at something like, I don't have time, flipping it on its head might look like, I do have time, but I'm choosing to use my time for X, Y, and Z. If we take the belief of I have to be blank to be in this space and we turn it on its head, we'd say, I deserve to be in this space because of something. And if we took no one wants blank from me, it could become people who love me want all of me. Or, as the infamous Dr. Seuss said, the people who matter don't mind, and the people who mind don't matter. So keep that one in mind, too. And I will tell you that all of these have come up for me this week. When I went and picked up a friend to head out to have a cocktail or two and some nibbles one night, and she suggested this really chic restaurant, and I had put on my most casual clothes. I had jeans that had a hole in them and weren't fashionably cut, had on one of my favorite hoodies and a tank top, We walk in and they got all kinds of mood lighting and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? And I made a little crack to her, and she's like, you look great. You're fine. And I thought, oh, why do I feel like these stupid jeans make me feel like I don't deserve to be here? I love cocktails. I love good food. Let's just enjoy it. And I decided that the rules didn't matter. They were still going to serve me. They were still going to take my money. And I let it go because I could, because I wanted to be there with this friend and just enjoy our evening together. And so I let it go. And it was okay. And I survived. So the key here is that after you have flipped that belief on its head, you have to take step number 4 and say, is it at least somewhat possible that this opposite statement is also true? Right? We're talking about a both and. We're talking about it no longer being either or. We're talking about that restaurant no longer being just about being fancy or casual, but maybe it is a fancy restaurant and maybe I am societally normed, underdressed, but is it maybe possible that I still deserve to be there and that it's all going to be okay? That might be kind of a frivolous answer, but when you start looking at things that you want to be doing for yourself, people you want to be spending time with, projects that you want to start working on, things that are going to fuel your soul and your joy, then guess what? It's probably worth it. And it's probably worth taking that moment to consider those 4 steps. So to recap, number 1, when you say I can't or it's not possible, ask why can't I? Then ask, is it something I want? Then ask yourself, if I flip that belief upside down, what would it be? And finally, is it at least somewhat possible that that new belief could also be true? So I would challenge you to watch for that and watch for those moments where you say, I can't, or it's not possible, or I don't deserve it, and challenge yourself to push through them and see what's on the other side of that wall that's blocking you. So please tell me as these are coming up for you. I want to hear other examples from other than just my own life. So post it on the blog at MaximumJoyMinimumStress.com. Let me know what's running through your head. Until next time, I wish you tons and tons of joy, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye.